Ladies and gentlemen, by way of introduction, my name is David Lewis, and I formerly worked for the U.S. Treasury Department National Bank Examiner. I actually was involved in licensing, chartering, regulating, and supervising all national bank activities. And you know national banks because they have national NA in their names, and they're often the largest banks or institutions that we do banking with. Since retirement, taking early retirement, I have an opportunity to dig into this whole concept of wealth and wealth strategies. And that's what I want to talk to you about today is actually where we are positioned with the evolution of money and value. There's three topics I want to try to cover in the short time that I have to you today. This is the kind of topic that could be a all day series or actually multiple day, but I'm going to try to squeeze the core of really what you need to know or what I want to share with you about what's going on in our finance world today. So I want to talk about the evolution of money and value by sharing some money and banking principles. After years of working with bank presidents, boards of directors, and other executives within the banking industry, most of whom are actually wealthy individuals, I learned quite a bit. Some of it actually changed my life. And so some of those I now have and use as wealth principles that I learned. And then I want to share with you a little bit about my perspective on the World Crypto Life onboarding platform. Now, it starts with really all of us asking that simple question: are we working harder for more money to actually cover the basics? I mean, this is a time when we know it's not just me, but it seems like the higher cost of living, the added value, added pressure on families today is causing fear, uncertainty, and doubt on a major scale, really like we've not seen before. Most families that we know in America today, 93% of them don't earn a living wage. There's about 97% that retire to be dependent on family, and most of them do not have even $1,000 in savings and can't survive an emergency of $400 for a set of tires or some of the basics in life. And yet we live in the most prosperous, the most economically impactful country in the entire globe. There's something about our system that, in fact, we know hasn't worked for everybody. We know what's occurring right now as we watch the inflation rate go through the roof. If you watch the news, you can't help but hear all over the news that the inflation rate is at a 40-year high. That's the highest it's been in 40 years. So the question that comes out of all this is what's going on with our money? What's going on with our economy? What is it that in fact we are experiencing now, and is this actually special? Well, I want to share with you what we often hear people talk about is the income gap that exists, and the fact that most of us are having working hard but not able to make ends meet. And so I want to share with you that the income gap is just a symptom of the problem. You see, my goal today for my section of this presentation is to share with you the World Crypto Life why. We've talked about the how, and there'll be others that'll come after me that talk about the what. But I want to talk to you about the why. Why is it that we engage in? Why is this program and this platform so profound? I want to suggest to you that the major problem that we have is a wealth gap. You see, the wealth gap is based on the fact that we have 150 trillion in assets owned by all the families in the United States. And if we take that and divide it by the total population, the total number of people in this country, everybody's assets should be about 343,000 per person. Now, I want to suggest that if you stopped and wrote down all the things that you have that are assets on a piece of paper, would it equal this amount? Well, the point is, if you had a family of three, that means you should have $1 million in assets. But what we also know is that there are over 600 billionaires right here in the United States right now, 615 to be exact. And of course, these are people who, in fact, have done something and figured out something that maybe the masses or majority of us just don't know. See, I'm not one to bash wealthy people. I just want to find out what they know, and I want to share what they know with other people so we can do the same thing. You see, the wealth gap is nothing more than a knowledge gap. And I believe everybody on this call, if you were given the same information as some of those people who've achieved wealth, there's a great probability that you too can achieve that same level of wealth. You just need the information. Well, I'm going to share with you some things that I consider the things that I learned that were most profound for me when I actually started working with the bankers that I work with. I had a chance to work with. These are principles that developed or came out of those experiences. And let me just go into them real quick. But I want to ask you to let me share a little scenario with you real quick. And this is a participation activity. You're about to receive, the scenario is this: you're about to receive a settlement, and you got a call from your lawyer saying that in the next week or so, maybe 10 days, you're going to actually get a check of a settlement for about $5 to $10 million. Now, I want you to write down all the things that you're going to do with that money. $5 to $10 million. Write down the three things that you're going to do with that money. Now, calling J.G. Edwards is not one of them, but you need the cash now. So what is it you're going to do with that money? Now, let me share with you, there's no right or wrong answer to this question. This is something that, in fact, is going to bring out and highlight what we've been taught. We've been taught in the financial system that we're currently operating in, we've been taught some things that are just not true. So let me just say that if you wrote down what you're going to buy with the money, you're a product of your conditioning, just like I am. And of course, if the things that you thought about are houses and cars and the things that you're going to buy, that's a function of your conditioning. But ladies and gentlemen, if you thought about what you're going to do with that money to put it to work, you understand the first principle, and that is money is an earning tool, not a spending tool. Making this paradigm shift starting today has the potential to change your life. You need to begin to see money as an earning tool, not a spending tool. And when you do that, you'll begin to know that you're on your path to actually building wealth for you and your family. The next principle is understanding that the US dollar, serves multiple functions. We all think of it as cash or all the other names, the slang names that we give it. But in fact, the dollar has two core functions. It's a medium of exchange that we use it when we think about checking accounts. And it's a store of value when we think about our savings account. Now, I want to share with you that using your dollar as a medium of exchange is good. You can spend it almost anywhere around the world. So the dollar has that function covered and is quite efficient at doing so. But if you're using money as a store of value, ladies and gentlemen, that's something that wealthy people just don't do. They don't leave their money sitting in a dollar bill in a savings account. Now, I don't know if you've looked at your checking account statement lately, but when you see that little paltry interest statement every month or at the end of the year, and then you think about the fact that the bank has actually taken those same dollars and loaned them, and actually while they're paying you 0.02, 3, or 5%, they're actually lending that money out at 6%. That's how bankers get wealthy. And by the way, let me share with you, the banks were created by private individuals who took over the U.S. Financial sector called the Fed Reserve Bank. And when they did that, they actually created the most effective machine for building wealth for themselves. But guess what? It wasn't designed to build wealth for you. So leaving money in a savings account actually loses value. You see, savings alone, as Robert Kiyosaki says, is for suckers. Yet that's the old advice that we've all been given. Get a good education, safe, secure, stable job. Actually, find a way to save some money above the expenses and quality of life that you want, and come out with a safe, secure retirement. Well, I got to tell you, I tried that and it doesn't work. As a matter of fact, I don't know too many people that, in fact, that it's worked for. So these money principles, if you capture them now, write them down. I'm going to tell you how to put those to work as well. But I would need to now move on to some really key wealth principles. These are the kinds of things that you were never taught in school. You see, I actually went through college and advanced degrees, and I minored in accounting and majored in business, but I've never received a wealth class. I didn't receive it until I got exposure to those same bankers working with the bank regulators that I begin to earn and develop these wealth principles. Number one principle, and you want to write this down: wealth is the goal, not income. We've all been taught get a job and earn income or pursue income. To me, that's like chasing the golden egg. No, ladies and gentlemen, you need to make wealth your goal. When you make wealth your goal, uh, your whole paradigm changes, because a job will give you income, but it will never ever give you wealth. So you got to make wealth your goal, number one. And of course, the second thing is you need to know what wealth is. And wealth is the measure of the assets that you own. That's right. They tell you that right in the accounting equation. Assets equals liabilities minus net worth. And so if you want to actually increase your wealth, you got to increase the assets that you own. It's really, the principle is that simple. And then thirdly, what is wealth building? Well, wealth building is essentially converting the most powerful tool you'll ever have to build wealth, and that is the income from whatever job or other source that you're generating, business or whatever you're generating income, converting as much of that as possible into income producing assets that you own and you put to work for yourself. This third principle of wealth building is really what World Crypto Life provides a unique opportunity for you to do. Now, let me just move to talking about what, in fact, all of us want. We want to get money as an issue out of our life. And the solution is to get ownership of compounding digital assets into our life. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit more about digital assets later, but I got to tell you, and many of you know this quote, because they asked Albert Einstein what was the most profound thing he saw in his lifetime, and everybody thought he was going to say EMC square or how to calculate the size of the universe, but what he said was compounding interest. And that's what bankers have working for them, and quite honestly, it's working against you. Digital assets provide a way for you to get compounding in your life. And so when you think about where this is going, I got to go back to a quote that Robert Kiyosaki coined some years ago. He said, assets put money in your wallet, liabilities take money out. So if you stop and think, and I want you to make a note to write down all the list of assets that you own that are putting money in your pocket right now. If your list is short, or you have a very short list of assets that are putting money in your pocket, that's the reason why you haven't achieved wealth. And again, it's about assets and owning assets. Here's an example that he also developed. And of course, in the world of banking, it's all about financial statements. And there's three core financial statements in all of business. It's an income statement, a balance sheet, and a cash flow statement. I want to show you the first column on the left, the income statement of a poor person. That is, their income comes into their household and it goes out in expenses. How do I know? Well, I come from a large family, and my father's check was the only income that came into the house. And of course, when he brought the check home, it was already spent. And so all the money went out in expenses. So I was never learned what else could you do if you had money left over. But if you go to the income statement of a middle income person on the center, you can see the income comes into that person's household. And what do they do? What does the middle class person do? We go live above our means and we buy liabilities. And what do we have to do? We have to expense or pay the expense of those liabilities that we purchase. And so again, that is something that's never moving us towards wealth. But if you take the third column of a rich person, they get income in and they buy assets. And those assets grow and produce more income so that they don't have to work. And when you actually get your mind around these three different ways that we handle the assets that we have, what we're talking about is how you manage your cash flow to build wealth. And so here's a summary of the key takeaways for what I've shared up to this point. And it starts with this: the best thing that money can buy are assets that earn more money. So when I ask you the question about what would you do with that $5 million, if you said to buy more assets to earn more income, you're on the right track. But if you said buy stuff, no, ladies and gentlemen, that's not the way to do it. You let your assets buy your stuff. And so you need to treat your next paycheck and all the income as an earning tool. And how do you do that? You do that by investing. You only earn income by using money as an earning tool from your money. And lastly, investing is essentially using money as an earning tool, and it's actually the best way to achieve financial freedom. And so these concepts are really pretty basic in many ways, but they're ones that are just not taught to the majority of people. And I want you to share them broad and as far and as wide as you can with all the people that you come in contact with. Have this conversation to get them started understanding what this is about is owning assets. And so if you want to know what's going on, it was the men of Issachar in the Bible who talked about knowing the signs of the times. And I want to just share with you where we're positioned right now and what are the signs of the times that we're in. Well, see, we've actually come through the agricultural age. And during the agricultural age, land and property ownership was really the foundation of all wealth. If you own land, you were wealthy. That's where landlord came from. It's actually the ones who own the property own the wealth. We went through the industrial age, and that is the machines and the sources of power that were being generated. And people like Dale Carnegie, the railroad barons who actually developed the railroads were actually the people who developed the wealth because they harnessed in the industrial age. And then we moved into the information age. And we currently took the information age and actually developed it to the point that we actually have knowledge. Google has put just about everything that is known or knowable. It is almost searchable anywhere. So we've come through this information age. The big question is, where are we now? Well, I want to suggest to you that we're at the end of the information age and we're making a transition to the new digital age. And the digital age is bringing us what in fact is digital property ownership. That is, everything that can be digitized is going to be digitized. And this is the new frontier. And if you think about what in fact was the wealth that was created during the agriculture age by owning property, we have a new category of property called digital property, and you have an opportunity. We're sitting in a unique time in the history of mankind where we have the ability to capture this digital property. And that's essentially what the World Crypto Life platform is providing us with. It's an onboarding platform because we're sitting in the middle of a great reset. We actually have the opportunity to become the landlords, if you will, by owning these digital properties that in fact provide us with the foundations of wealth. And so we take that and we actually go to this statement that I think is so profound, and Mr. Carter mentioned it earlier. We just need to find out where the world is going and find a way to get there first. And to me, that's exactly what World Crypto Life, I got to give it up to Richard Pyle and Francis Yoon, Nicholas Bailey, and all the team and developers who put this platform together, because they looked, starting back in 2017, a world the world is going, and they created this platform to help us get there first, and they're giving us an invitation to participate. So where's the world going? Well, if you want to actually achieve the level of wealth, you got to ask what classes of assets should you own, because the greatest wealth is created by being an early investor in innovation. And what's the greatest innovation power? It's cryptocurrency on the blockchain, and it's the opportunity of a lifetime. What Mr. Carter just shared with you is showing you, in fact, the power behind what cryptocurrency is. And so we think about where we are, and you want to understand Bitcoin, cryptocurrency. I think you need to I try to explain it to people this way, and I try to use analogies to help them understand, taking what they know and relate it to what, in fact, is the evolution of digital finance. So the blockchain is essentially technology. It's the evolution of the internet. And cryptocurrency is software. It's the evolution to digital property. And then thirdly, tokens or coins are applications. It was back in 2006 when the actual introduction of the iPhone occurred, and it was something that occurred at that point that brought about a major change in our lives. It was the introduction of the iPhone, and what made the iPhone unique is that it connected us to the internet. And when it did, we actually started developing applications. There's application for this, application for that, application for just about everything that we want to do. Tokens or coins are applications that essentially are the evolution of money. we'll be able to move money around like we send emails. We'll be able to send money. And that already exists. That's already in place. And so we're actually talking about the evolution to digital finance with being the evolution of money and value. So World Crypto Life offers is the opportunity for you to own a portfolio of assets in cyberspace in a secure account. There's only three things that the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency need to do in its 13 years of existence. It needed to essentially not go to zero. It needed to not be banned. And thirdly, the cryptocurrency and Bitcoin specifically needed to not be banned and having government cause us to not want to participate in it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, all of this has been solved by genius engineers and mathematicians. And that's what digital finance is. Rather than fat cat bankers, they created a new system within cyberspace for us to own and become our own bankers. How do I know? Well, executive order was signed by President Biden in March 9th, 2022. And it listed 6 priorities that, in fact, tell us where this is going. The number one is that I want to just point you to the last one. He said he wants the U.S. to be the leader in global finance and economic competitiveness. The best thing that ever happened to the dollar is cryptocurrency, because it's going to assure that the dollar remains the reserve currency of the world. And that's exciting, but you can see the other things that they provide. And so what are the benefits of owning cryptocurrency? Number one, it's a hedge against inflation. Because if you don't have something greater than the 7 or 8%, or some people say 14% when you add in gasoline, inflation that's taking money out of your pocket every month, if you don't have something to offset it, you're losing ground. The second thing that benefit of owning cryptocurrency is that you actually can accumulate wealth, because it's something that's it's a rare commodity. It's property. It's like land that the wealthy owned in earlier centuries. So it provides an opportunity for wealth preservation as well. And then last, it still remains as a medium of exchange. And we're going to show you just exactly how that works, because World Crypto Life, in my estimation, is a fintech product that really has put in place the keys to me to this new reset that's occurring. And we get a chance to sit in at the table. So here's where we're positioned, that if we want to actually engage in wealth building, we just find a big problem in the way of where the world is going, and we offer a big solution. World Crypto Life is that solution. You see, the problem is people want to participate in Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, but they don't know how to get started. And so this DeFi ecosystem is the way to invest, send, spend, save, share, and earn cryptocurrency worldwide. What do I mean invest? Well, it's actually the tokenomics are the cryptocurrency token, starting with our IMC, is like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and FTX. That you actually get to own digital property. You can send that digital property through our peer-to-peer payment system. Ours is called GPoint. The leader, is Mr. Carter mentioned earlier, is PayPal. But who's the major competitor worldwide to PayPal? Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's World Crypto Life in this unique platform, and the GPoint that's out there making its way across the world, and you have a seat at the table. To spend and send, we have our own online retail platform, just like Amazon.com. When you think about what Amazon does, the majority of what is sold on Amazon.com is not Amazon products and services. It's actually affiliates. So what do we have with World Crypto Life? We have an affiliate platform where people, local people, regional people, national companies can also offer their products and services, just like Amazon.com or eBay or others. And lastly, what we have is absolutely unique. It's a share and earn compensation plan. Now, Amazon calls its membership Prime. We call essentially our membership just becoming a member of the World Crypto Life program, and the membership has its rewards. And so we think about the IMC token, the GPoint wallet, our GPoint app, and actually being a tremendous payment system, just like PayPal. We have our GPoint Market, which is online retail and affiliate platform, just like Amazon.com. We have our global community membership, Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to share with you that's probably the most powerful element of this because you get to participate with other like minded people. And if you actually read Proverbs 15:22, it talks about how important it is that you get involved with the counsel of many, much is achieved. And it's safety and security and being in numbers of people, like minded people that are part of this platform. This is what's going to make our platform stick. It's going to make it grow, and it's going to actually give us a unique opportunity to share and earn and help other people get involved. These combination of what this company has provided is totally unique in the marketplace and has the potential to be revolutionary. So World Crypto Life is an onboarding platform that's a digital finance product that gives you all of the keys that I just mentioned to you: the exchange, the token, the wallet, the app, the global debit card. And here's the key point: we are global, and so there are people. We have unquestionably the best financial services system in the world, second to none. But the point is, we're the only one that has the ability to reach out to the entire world and bring them up to speed. And World Crypto Life is that United States based platform that's providing that for all those unbanked people around the world. You see, there's 8 billion people in the world, but guess what? There's 10.5 billion cell phones. And so those cell phones are all the individuals across the entire globe who need what we have. The major problem is as one of the major leaders in cryptocurrency says, is not that third world countries or other people around the world don't have what it takes to actually grow and improve the economy. What they don't have is the systems that we have. World Crypto Life is providing that system, and when you package all of this together and view it as a system that is, you can see how powerful it could be in a country that doesn't have the capability and the resources to put this kind of a program together, and we can actually serve them globally. And lastly, ladies and gentlemen, this is about you being a part of a membership community where you get an opportunity to share and earn. Now, I've been invited to participate in other programs for many years. Many instances I said no because it's offering a different product or a different service. But when I saw this one and it was offering the opportunity to own assets, yes was my answer when I got the call. And I hope if you're seeing this for the first time, yes is your answer as well. Because we are sitting in a unique position to take advantage of the tremendous power that World Crypto Life is providing to us to share and earn and get a community membership. You see, there is power in being a partner to help develop this ecosystem and this digital finance platform that is World Crypto Life. So let me just summarize with a few key statements. This is about building wealth. So if you want to stop living paycheck to paycheck, you got to start using your income as an earning tool, not a spending tool. And you invest income to acquire more income producing assets. Secondly, you use those digital assets at your store of value rather than a savings account where inflation is robbing you every single day. Next, you got to actually stop the slow leak that is leaving your money sitting in the bank because of all the fees that are associated with most bank accounts that are eliminated if you decide to invest in or put them into cryptocurrency. Lastly, you want to escape work and poverty? Well, you got to separate the hours worked from the income that you earn. Most of us are trading hours for dollars. If you separate hours work, you actually do that by getting another source of income. Multiple streams of income are earned, passive, and now, ladies and gentlemen, you can have a portfolio of digital cryptocurrency assets that are producing income for you in the form of this IMC token. We offer staking and other opportunities and other ways for you to earn income, so you never have to sell your token to get income. And then, of course, if you share and earn, you're going to get paid to help this platform grow. So here's the wealth plan for World Crypto Life. You see, all of us want a lifestyle of wealth for ourselves, and we want a legacy of wealth for our families. Step one is to capture IMC tokens. You add the share and earn income associated with that you then get the ability to start your portfolio, and you convert as much of the wages that you get from your current source above your living expenses, and you add the World Crypto Life sharing income to that to acquire even more tokens and grow your portfolio. You heard Mr. Carter mention Dale, who's actually had a 500,000 tokens. Just think about that. What would the value of that portfolio be if the token goes to $1? Now, it's doubled in value over the last 12 months, and it's nearing, if it repeats that, you can see what a portfolio is going to be. And the third step to your wealth plan is that you compound, and what those tokens do for you is compound the actual value that's created in those tokens, so that you begin to put together a portfolio of assets, so you don't need to work. Ladies and gentlemen, your assets will go to work for you. This is the final aspect of what, in fact, is an ever-changing questions that we all must ask ourselves. And the question I want to ask you is, how do you turn this knowledge into economic energy for you and your family? Well, you got to ask your first question. I'm going to help you with the first two, and the third one is on you. The first one is, how can you use this information? Well, you can use it by getting back with the person that invited you to this call and just strategize to them on how you can get involved and get started. And the second question you got to ask, why must you use this information? And of course, you can look in the eyes of your family and you actually will find the answer there. But the third one is yours. When will you use this information? My hope is that you'll use it right away and begin to get involved with World Crypto Life and begin to share it with others. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of my presentation. I want to throw it back to you, Mr. Carter. And I thank you for your time and attention. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the way to build wealth for you and your family. World Crypto Life is the platform. And today is the day to get started. Thank you.